Florida folk band has been all over your For You page, and now they're with us today. The 502s write and play from the heart and are bringing the party along wherever they go. With millions of views and likes on TikTok, they have taken it by storm. And just like their most recent record, today couldn't get better than this. Please welcome Ed and Joe from the 502s.
Yeah.
Hello.
That is a fantastic
It's
intro.
great to be here. That was
I'm
very
excited.
good. That was a great intro.
Excited to have you guys here. So a fun fact about me is I went to UCF, so I'm very familiar with Orlando, and I'm upset that it's taken me to where I am no longer in Florida to discover you guys, but also very grateful to my For You page for finding you guys out. So welcome, very excited to have you.
God bless TikTok. That's what I say.
That's right.
Honestly. Kind of just get us started though. What was the first thing you guys listened to this morning? Or I guess today?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Well, this is going to sound narcissistic, but Just a Little While, which is our song.
Oh man,
Not a bad
how
one,
ironic!
Not a bad one.
How ironic! I listened to Bad Haircuts, which is also.
Which is our song.
it was like yeah, it's a good song.
We believe and enjoy our music so much that that's what we listen to when we wake up. We say, it's a great day. Let's start it with our favorite band, and then we'll go from there.
As you should. I'm going to be honest. I listened to Adele this morning.
It's fantastic.
I have not heard the new
so
album
much.
yet, but I want to. I just got to, maybe that's like a post-Thanksgiving
Well, you have to
blanket
sit and listen
wine
to the
thing.
whole thing. You know, you can't shuffle
Yeah.
through or just pick a song. So
And it's worth it. There's one
good.
song in there that I have not successfully gotten through without tearing up once. So the bar is high.
Oh, boy. Which one is
Yeah.
that?
It's called Little Love. It has like a little feature with her son on it. And I just
oh man,
Can't
I'm
do
crying
this
right
to
now.
me.
Game over.
quite literally, yeah. So kind of diving into you guys, what was the kind of love story, romantic story that brought you guys all together?
Well, Joe brought me one day a bouquet of roses. No, I'm just kidding.
14 roses.
Yeah, 14 roses. No, we all kind of just met through Orlando, and we've all like weirdly known each other. So the band originally started with myself and two of my cousins, and then it just kind of grew really organically. Where we pulled in Matt, who we knew from middle school, and then I've known Joe since high school, and Matt knew our bass player from college, and it just was like, oh hey, we need this, we need that. Does anybody know a horn player? And just really kind of naturally grew into what it is today, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. And what was kind of each of your catalyst albums in your youth? What was the first album you heard that was like, oh, I'm doing music. I'm figuring out how to do music, but I'm going to do it.
Oh man, Kenny G. This is gonna sound funny. My parents listened to a lot of 103.1. Back then, it was a jazz station in Central Florida, and so it was always some sort of saxophone or trumpet or jazzy thing or there and that. And it was Kenny G. I don't remember which album because they're all kind of the same, but it was one of those, and I just listened to that, and I wanted to play the saxophone. So,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
I just remember my dad. I want to say it was like the ultimate collection of Earth, Wind, and Fire. But I feel like that was the first. He loved that. He would play it in the car, driving my brother and I to school, and it was just like that's the one thing that I remember to this day. I'm like, yeah, I know every song on there. That and the Steve Miller Band were like the two that he had on repeat, which is what I was then listening to on repeat.
Those are such great ones. I always talk about Fall Out Boy's Folie à Deux and Up From Under a Cork Tree for me. I had a very emo upbringing. It was very classic. But my parents were very into Motown, and to this day, my favorite song of all time, like anybody asks me, I'm like, September. There's no other answer. No other. Best song ever made.
It is. And I feel like that like somehow got ingrained in me to then like 20 years down the road, it was like, hey, we need to have horns in the 502s, Like,
Yeah.
and luckily Joe knows how to play every horn.
I try.
Thank God.
Yeah, I try.
That's also insanely impressive also, by the way. I can't play anything, let alone anything. But if you guys need a triangle player,
So you
could
can play the
let me know.
triangle. Yeah.
let me know. I can do it on beat. I can do that.
It's
Next
like
time
It's like the
Next
old
time you're in
SNL
DC,
skit.
give me a call.
All right, I think we're coming up to DC in like late February, so get that, polish that triangle up. No,
I'll be
I'm
there.
picturing the old like Will Ferrell cowbell skit now. That could be you, like,
Yeah.
like hitting the cowbell.
I'm ready. Just give me the call. So I really want to discuss Camp Feels Good, because the way that you guys released Couldn't Get Better Than This was amazing and impressive. So can you kind of talk about why you went that route of doing the whole Camp Feels Good thing and describe it to anybody who doesn't know what it is?
Yeah. So Camp Feels Good was like essentially an early access, and it's active still, but it was an early access to our album. So we did Camp Feels Good in October of 2020, and then our album was released in October of 2021. So it was almost like actually exactly a year. And essentially, we just thought it would be really cool to, one, put together like all the songs, but then also put together like little interviews around them and performance videos and behind the scenes stuff. Really just as like a band that is up and coming. We were like, hey, you know what's cool to us is like actually talking and connecting to people. So we just kind of want everyone to have the music, and here's a cool way to do it. So we put it all together. We rolled it out over 10 days, and it was super, super cool. I mean, I think the first iteration of it, we had like over 5,000 people join, which was crazy. But yeah, that's kind of what the inspo was around. It was really just like connecting with everybody.
And in the last year, obviously, that's more important than ever. What was the kind of reaction you guys got from various people?
I love that. So that it was a great reaction. But to answer even further than that is, I love the continuing reactions. Like, some of the friends that I made throughout that experience still exist today. And like, it always just refers back to, hey, do you remember when we listened to this song and then you guys did this? And it was just a really cool kind of just conversation every single time. So
it was cool too, because like we tend to not take ourselves too seriously. So we were doing things like as a part of this that were essentially things that people would suggest to us that would be like, oh, what's a camp activity? Someone's like, essentially Chubby Bunny, which was, let's see who can put the most marshmallows in their mouth, like, you know, and say the word Chubby Bunny. And so we're going on Facebook Live and doing this. And like Joe said, it just really was, I mean, if you think back to a year ago, everyone was really still in quarantine. And that's what I think made it so cool, is because like you're looking for this connection, and it brought everybody together. And so like it was a lot of like, dang, I needed this. And like, it's just cool to be able to, you know, your guys' music makes me feel better, and be able to jump on these Facebook Live videos. And it was the same for us. You know, we were just like, wow, like, this is awesome. People are going to watch us put marshmallows in our mouth. Like, okay, this is going to be a fun 30 minutes of our day. So we heard a lot of like, this was super, super fun. And I feel like we felt the exact same way too.
Well, Chubby Bunny was funny because that wasn't even in the original idea. Like, when we were thinking about Camp Feels Good, nobody said, let's stick marshmallows in our mouths right from the get-go. It was something that somebody had suggested that had joined camp in the beginning and was like, you guys should do this. And then we did. And here we are.
And by the way, if you're listening to this, like, two things. One, there is actual, you know, this Camp Feels Good thing was centered around our album. It wasn't just a bunch of hijinks. But we did add that in. And two, Chubby Bunny's a game. I think I said this, where you put marshmallows in your mouth and then you say like Chubby Bunny, Chubby Bunny. And as you do more and more, you're out when you can't say Chubby Bunny with the marshmallows in your mouth. But there was, you know, that was one of the hijinks. But there was a bunch of music going on as well.
Thank you for clarifying. I definitely was under the impression that only Chubby Bunny happened. You were like, there's this thing, we're going to connect with people, it's going to be great. We're only doing Chubby Bunny 10 days.
That's it. 10 days in a row, get our personal best.
As you should. Which, honestly, I think it's an incredible idea. And I think for me, as a big music fan, and then also kind of seeing it from, like, the semi-outside, I guess, like, I think it's incredibly creative. I think that a lot people should take notes from that, and really, I think connection is the most important thing when it comes to music. I think it connects us all. I think that everybody kind of connects in a different way, whether you listen to it in the car when you're crying, or if you're listening to it like blasting at the beach. Like, it all depends. So I think that, like, you guys taking that extra step is Absolutely incredible. Is that going to change when you guys release music in the future?
I hope not.
I don't think so. Like, before we did Camp Feels Good, like 3 years before that, we actually did a very similar thing, but obviously, there was like maybe like 500 people in it for our first album, and that was like a house party. So like, I don't think it will ever change. I'm sure it will get grander and more intricate and stuff like that over time. But the heart of it, I mean, I just really love being like, hey, this album's not coming out for a year, but if you want to like hear it now, it's done, it's ready. When an album's done, there's a lot of, not red tape, but there's a lot of steps to take in terms of making sure it gets released properly and it gets to the right places at the right time and that kind of stuff. But we're very much like, hey, it's done. If you want it, let's hear it now. So I think that in terms of rollout for any future albums, like this will always be a part of what we do, and I'm sure, like I said, it'll get creative over time, but like the core of it I would like for it to always be a part of it.
So that's the precedent. Do you think, now this is kind of more of like a businessy question, we don't have to really get into if you don't want to, but do you think that it affects the initial, like, I guess, streaming numbers when it does release, or do you think that has like made it excel more because people are already ready behind it and already like, all right, save. I know Spotify is already like kind of problematic when it comes to streams anyway.
Yeah.
But kind of curious of your thoughts in that regard.
I think that it helps, but I think that when the album came out this year, it had like already over 1 million streams, which was cool, and that's because we did singles like every 6 weeks leading up to it, so those kind of stacked onto it. But to your point, it was like people that heard the album October of 2020 through Camp Feels Good, as those singles were coming out, they were excited to hear them, and that wasn't necessarily like an intentional side effect of camp, but it was really cool to see like, oh wow, like we really just were focused on hanging out with people, and now they're listening to the music still. So it did, from a streaming and like longevity standpoint, it helped. Like Joe said, we were building these relationships, and we continue to build them. And that, if you have a good relationship with someone, they're invested in you.
Absolutely. I've always been very curious of how everybody's kind of reacted in the last year and a half to the pandemic, and like how they've kind of handled it in that way. So I think that, like, again, like, I think this is a great, like, if anybody's listening, is like, we need to hop on something really cool for fans, like take a note, because like I just think it's incredibly impressive. And then on top of that, something called TikTok has happened. Where? How did this happen? Obviously, nobody ever knows how it happens other than like one video goes viral and then it's sold. Can you guys kind of talk about your reactions to that?
Yeah, you want to go for it first, Joe?
I mean, it was like any other day, and then we had practice. I'll give you the short version. Ed can expand because it was really Ed who took the leading charge of TikTok. But we were posting everywhere else. I did a lot of Instagram and Facebook, and we were always just trying to make sure that we were putting out funny and cool stuff. And then Ed just on a lunch break, I think during his day, just put it on. And then we had practice, and then the next day, there it is. So, but
yeah, it was crazy. Like Joe said, literally, we filmed a video for Magdalene 5 minutes away from where we live, at a little studio here. And we put it up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff on, like, I think a Monday, like that Monday. And then Tuesday, I was just, like, sitting here. I was like, oh, you know what? I got, like, 10 minutes. Let me see if I can just post something on TikTok. I did. We went to practice that night. And it was like, guys, this has, like, 50,000 views on it. This is crazy, right? That's cool. And then we practiced for like, 2 hours, whatever. And it was like, guys, this has 200,000 views on it now. And then that was such an exciting time because I remember us all texting like kind of two things. One was like, we're sitting there till like 2 a.m. watching. I'm like, oh my God, it's at like 700,000 views. Is it going to get to 1 million? And at the same time, we're also texting about like I remember that night we started putting together cover artwork for the song. For the lot, because we were like, we have to release this song. So we're texting about how excited in one group, and then also texting about like, what does everyone think of this cover artwork? And I mean, it was crazy. And like TikTok is just
we're
been
talking
really good
about
to
different
us.
shades. We're talking about different shades of pink. That's how excited we were. There were like 3 or 4 shades of pink. We were like, no, not that pink. It's too pink.
Yeah, it's like, what do you think of hex code 1, 2, 3? It's like,
Yeah.
no, but do like, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. But it was cool, and like, and that really to us was like, I think like an inspiring moment of like, wow, TikTok is uncontrollable, but it's super cool, and people seem to like our content on there. So we just started making more videos and posting, and like it's over the last year, it's like just helped us really grow from like, I think like 10,000 listeners on Spotify to like over 230,000.
Holy cow.
Which is like wild and awesome. So like I said, God bless TikTok.
That's right.
It's really interesting because I've talked to a few other bands who have had kind of the similar situation as they post a video, all of a sudden they blink and then there's, a million views. And kind of the aftermath is always curious because I feel like you guys have had continued views, like killing it. I know like my friend, she sends me like all TikToks related to music, and she sent me the cover of Champagne Problems, and I'm like, very good. I've heard this before. I've seen them before. And you guys have just done very well keeping up with, I want to say the times, but it's just like you guys have done very well keeping up with it. And have you seen that kind of pour over elsewhere?
Yeah, I think that's what's been like most beneficial in a sense of continued growth is that, I mean, we're lucky in a sense because it just feels like the stuff that we think is cool also seems to resonate, like that Taylor Swift cover that was filmed at my apartment on a bench by the lake that I live by, and it was like and actually that video was filmed a year ago. I just never released it because I was like, I don't really know what to do with this. But it just feels like we just make stuff that we're like, okay, this is cool. We love this, and it resonates. And I don't know like how you control that or how you predict it. I don't know that you can, but it's just we have fun making this stuff, and it seems to do well.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that like touring obviously is in up creek. I know in Florida it's been like that for a while, but at least like up here in the north it's like very much coming back fully now. Have you seen that pour over into live shows?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people in general, especially through COVID, I know for us within the band, we just, not saying that it wasn't a bad time, but we had a great time through it. I got to spend more time with Eddie than I could say I spent with anybody else throughout COVID, and it was like we had a fun time, and that's poured over to now we play shows, and it's like the TikTok, and there are people that know us from that, and then there are people that know us from camp. But the thing that's the same across the board is that everybody's just really happy that music's still around and that it's coming back live, and we love it. So
yeah, it's been especially cool to we've done a couple of tours this year, and to see this is the first time that people have started coming out to the shows and started singing. Like when Magdalene starts, it's like everybody knows the words, and it's like, damn, that is freaking crazy to us. So it's cool, and I think like as we get into next year, hopefully more and more that will happen. And it's also cool to like finally meet people, that are like, hey, I was a part of Camp Feels Good, or like I heard you guys during lockdown last year when you released the Magdalene video, and I've been listening to you since. It's like it's nice to actually like go out and get to connect with people versus just in the comments of videos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'll die on this hill, but like connection is everything. And I think that bands that promote and kind of exude, I don't know if this is a word, but I say it all the time, genuity and being genuine, always like come out on top in my opinion, just because I think that that's what people want, and they don't want, I'm sure like people like Harry Styles, there's like a shield of sheer glimmering gold that you can't see behind, but then on the other side, there is that sense of him being genuine, or you guys being genuine in your passions and your communication with your fans and people who just hang out and play music with you, and it very much like is evident, and you can see that. And I think that's why I like you guys so much, is that there is that like, we are here is our good music, here is our good vibes.
Yeah, I think it's like I am attracted to people that are authentic as well. And like, you say Harry Styles, I'm sure that he has this whole like persona, right? And if you look at his records and stuff, But then all over TikTok, you'd see his like off the cuff reactions to people's signs at his concerts, and it's like, okay, like that makes me just be like, I was pretty neutral towards Harry Styles until I saw those videos, and I was like, wow, I like him. He's fantastic. He's funny. He's like, he's picking on people in the crowds, but in a nice way. And it's like when you, I think it's just you got to let your personality out there, and that's pretty much what you can control.
Yeah, and you kind of talked about this a little bit already, but what are we expecting in 2022? Is it more music, live shows? Give us a little something.
Both. We're not very veiled. So what my first asterisk mark will be is like whatever I say right now, subject to change. But we're planning on releasing a EP in March-ish. And then we're planning on potentially releasing some like more stripped back chill versions of some of our existing songs in the summer. And then we just recorded a live album actually 2 weeks ago at a show in Orlando that we're going to drop in the fall. So I'm super excited about that with video. And then we're starting to talk about our touring. So we've got some dates locked in for the Northeast at the end of February, DC being one of them. Like,
thank God.
So that'll be sick. And then we're coming to the Pie Shop, I think it's called.
Great pie.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that's a good place to go. So and then from there we'll be touring probably all over the rest of the U.S. and we're trying to explore how we can go back to Europe. So it'll be a good year. It'll be a sick year, actually, the best year.
Yeah, the best year.
Very exciting to hear. Well, do you guys want to play a game of quick pick where I make you quick pick a song with a very specific scenario that I give you?
Yes, I would love to, and I'm sure Joe would.
Absolutely.
So you are in the back of your friend's car, and it's actually the worst song possible for them to keep the vibe going. What song is it? I'm picking Skinny Love by Birdie. Oh. Love the song, but like, don't kill me. Don't kill me.
I was going to say Skinny Love by Bon Iver. That's insane. That's funny.
I was going to say I Can't Make You Love Me. You know that song?
Bon Iver does a cover of that too. It hurts just thinking about it.
You can't just emotionally do that to me.
Joe, it was a good time.
Skinny Love?
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. For sure.
Solid choice. You're in a foreign country and you're very lost, not sure where to go, and you need to act like you have some confidence, so you throw on this song. I'm going with Formation by Beyonce.
Well, it's actually interesting. Let me ask. One time we were in Europe, and we did, in fact, get lost, and Joe and I both did act like we knew where we were going, and we didn't. That's he knew a little bit better than I did, but Joe, was there a particular song that you were thinking in your head at that very moment?
To be honest, I was a little scared at that time, to be honest, so no, I did not have a song.
You're just like, actually, this was all fake.
No, that's a real thing. That was funny. Yeah, we were Amsterdam? Netherlands somewhere? Yeah. And the buildings were really tall, and we had walked this farmers market or the city market to pick up gifts for our friends and family at home, and we just started walking back, thinking we were in the right direction. But there was a moment where we had no idea where we were, and I was very worried about that. That's a funny story.
I would probably pick. I could walk 500 miles.
Yeah.
That's the one. I'd just be like, just keep walking. Just figure it out.
It's not bad.
You'll get there somewhere.
Yeah, you got to get somewhere eventually.
Yeah. I guess I Keep Rolling would be a good one now. It wasn't out then, but it is now, and I would have probably put that on because just keep rolling.
There you go. And then the last one of Quick Pick, you're on the way home from a very, very, very bad date, and you have the aux. You have to pick the song to curate the drive home. I'm going to pick 10-minute version of All Too Well.
Oh, man.
Just set the tone.
See, if I'm coming home from a really bad date, I want to feel like inspired. So probably Single Ladies.
Incredible choice.
That's hilarious.
Joe's like, what did I just hear?
What did I just say? That's not what I was expecting you to say. I would actually probably take the really awkward route. And I would pick like the funniest song I could think of. So it's more of a local song. His name is Night Winds. But it's a song called Meant for Each Other. and I would just see how awkward we could make the rest of the ride home because I'm already there, and that's the last date, so we'll see what happens.
Wait, are they in the car with you?
Yes.
Oh,
I should have
well,
clarified. Sorry, I should have clarified they were in the car.
well, I'll stand by my choice, but now I just seem rude to them.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. I love this is the one I ask like every time because I think the reactions are hilarious. And I always change mine because why not? My favorite options are WAP. I think that could be just great to just, or if you plug in your phone into a car, there's always the plug-in song. So A-Team, A-Punk,
There you
anything to just be like, all right.
Those
no
might
choice.
save the date.
They
Maybe.
could. All of them, honestly. Depending on how bad it went. Let's see. I think we have time to read through these before the last question. You guys cool to do the TikTok comments?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to read some TikTok comments. React, don't. We can just chat about them. They're pulled from all of your videos. A couple of them are from other people's videos about your songs or in reaction or stitching or whatever. The song is Instant Serotonin, basically. I've never ran to Spotify so fast. Who hurt you? I mean this in the best way. This band looks like every goofy guy from every frat decided to make a Mumford and Sons cover band.
See, I was surprised I was surprised the first three weren't like some of those ones because I thought you were going right for the jugular. So
No, come on.
I love those kind of comments. They crack me up. Like the thing about that I think a lot of people don't necessarily know is that we run all of our own social media. So you're like, oh, people have responded. Like that was me or Joe or Sean or Matt or Nick. Like we answer these comments. We like all the comments. So like when a video goes viral, I will just spend an hour sitting there reading through these and just like laughing at certain ones.
Peak entertainment, honestly.
It is really good. On the flip hand, I never had heard the term instant serotonin. So that
Really?
until the comments. So it helps me stay up to up to
Keeps
par
it
on
young.
the lingo. Yeah, it keeps me up to the lingo.
Let's see, what's another one? All I'm saying is that we elope. And then later in a different video, I noticed the same person. I am still waiting for my marriage proposal. Another one, I will always die for this song. I mean this in the nicest way possible, but this sounds like a VeggieTales song. And that was about Feels Good to Me.
I love that. I'll take that.
That seems like
any
a
day.
compliment to me.
That is, I love
Honestly.
VeggieTales.
You know what cracks me up is that you said we started on TikTok last November. People will drop comments on videos through like, up to this day and be like, just checking back in to see if we're getting married. Like that kind of thing. And I'm just like, okay, you're playing the long game and it's actually pretty damn funny. And no, but I appreciate the effort.
Is this a church band? And then someone replied, the Church of Good Vibes.
That's right.
Which was incredible. Whoever did that, props, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
We said that?
Yeah, you guys responded with the Church of Good Vibes when they said, is this a church band?
There you go. Maybe that would be our new tagline.
I'm shaking, crying, and throwing up. A valid response.
Okay, so I noticed that was probably, is that from a more recent video?
I want to say that was from the Taylor Swift one.
Yes, so I didn't know this, but that's a thing that Swifties say, and I needed to know that because I am a Swiftie. But there's so many comments saying that, and then the other one is Blondie's Unhinged, which I didn't know that was a thing. But those are things in the Taylor Swift community, which is hilarious and awesome at the same time.
Thoughts on Red quickly?
Love, sad but love.
Taylor's version, obviously. Okay,
Obviously,
great.
yeah.
Obviously.
TV. I did think that the whole Red TV thing. I thought she was releasing a TV channel for a good
An
2
Apple
months.
series.
Yeah, well, I didn't know, but
Fair.
no, it's fantastic.
And then the last one, the 502's, a band you can trust.
I love that one. I love
We're gonna
that
get
one.
patches made or
A
buttons.
stamp. That should
Yeah.
be the next merch.
Band that's actually, I want to write that down. A band you can trust.
You can trust.
Put it on, like, a
That's
banner.
hilarious.
I
Yeah.
used that on a personal post the other day. It was like it's like because I have a tendency, we all do. If you ever come to a live show, we jump up and down. It's like 75 minutes of straight cardio, so we sweat a little bit. And I remember posting that it's like, because a fan came up and was like, can I give you a hug? And I was like, I'm really sweaty. He's like, it's okay. I don't ever trust anybody who doesn't sweat. And I was like, all right. And I gave him a hug. And then I posted a picture with him later, and it was like, never trust a band that doesn't sweat on stage. The 502 is a band you can trust, and I used it there.
I like that. I like that. That's a good one.
I'm dead serious. I want a T-shirt that's like a stamp graphic. 502's band you can trust. That'll be coming in. Give us 2 months. That'll be coming.
Listen. They work. The devil works hard, but they work harder.
That's right.
Us and the Kardashians.
Yeah, Chris has nothing. So I have one final question for you guys. Musicians have the ability and the platforms to leave marks on the world in many ways, either larger or smaller. What is the band that you guys want to make as a band? Or yeah, that was repetitive.
What is the mark we would like to make on the band? I think we just want to make people feel better and feel good and feel connected. As broad as that is, Joe and I were actually talking today about it. We're like, what's great about the 502s is that we're just doing this because it's fun. And like, because we have words that we want to say with our friends, we're going to do it. And we want everybody to feel like they're heard, they're seen, and like add a little bit of positivity to everybody's life that we come in touch with.
Mm-hmm. I think love is a big word, only because a long time ago, me and Eddie, as we were bouncing love break or heartbreak back and forth with each other, not heartbreak between each other, but just the idea of it. It was like
I didn't accept his 14 roses.
It was love those that love you, and that's since transformed to love everyone, and that's just it's such a cool thing to be a part of a group of people that completely, what was the word you used? Genuity or whatever it was you said.
Don't know Genuity. If it's a word.
Whatever the word was, it's real.
I think it's genuine and authentic.
Yeah,
the two phrases.
Ingenuity is completely different. But
no, that's like being creative. Anyways, continue.
I love being in a band that loves what we do and loving everything and everyone around us and just having a good time. And it's such happy, positive vibes. You can't find that anywhere else. So I enjoy it.
502's a band you can trust.
That's right.
Stamp it, sign, seal, delivered. There you go.
Ah.
Tattoos.
Well, Ed and Joe, thank you guys so much for hanging out today. It's great chatting with you guys. The 502's.
Woo! Thanks for having us. We'll see you in DC.
For sure.